All right, y'all, so I just recently had a AC unit put in the house, and got a little project I'm gonna do today. I had my old unit was downstairs, and then the ductwork went up into the attic or whatever, took up an entire closet. We decided that we were gonna move the whole unit up into the attic. That's where a big part of the expense came in. But they moved the whole thing up into the attic and redid everything. So we got that closet back. I'm gonna be remodeling that into a walk-in pantry for my wife. Our old house just doesn't have much storage. The way the old system was set up, the drain went down underneath the floor joist of the house and went out, and the water was just wasted. Couldn't do anything with it really. It started clogging up, started causing a lot of problems. We were collecting the water in a 5-gallon bucket in the house and having to dump it down the toilet or the tub or something like that for a long time. It's a humongous waste of water, humongous waste of water. This new unit is a little different because it drains outside, and I had them just drain it out the eave of the house. Never mind the poor paint job, I gotta get after that. But anyway, that's the drain valve that comes out of the house. And it just runs down the wall and is making a nice green patch of crap, basically. Vines and just junk, really. Stuff that I don't want. So I don't like wasting anything. I don't like wasting water. So I've decided that I am going to reuse that water. My plan is to route that water into excuse the air conditioner. Anyway, reroute that water into a 55-gallon drum, put a spigot on the drum, then I can use it for watering plants, watering trees. If I need to put a little water in a dog's bowl right away or something, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that water. It's good, clean water. It's condensation off the air conditioner. There's no sense in wasting it. And I know some people are going to say that, well, running on the ground there, it's not really wasting it. It's going into the ground. It's feeding the grass. Well, yeah, but I could use it on other things besides the grass. The grass doesn't produce anything. I got a nice big peach tree right here. This giant peach tree right here that I can feed. These two trees right here are pear trees, Japanese pears. And then I've got a couple of little raised beds right there. They don't really have anything in them at the moment, but that was my wife's herb garden, and she wants to bring it back. So if nothing else, we can put our herbs back in there, and then we can start using this water over there if nothing else. I'm no air conditioner guy, but from what I've read, these AC units can produce 5 gallons or sometimes even more water condensation on a daily basis. So that'll fill up a 55-gallon drum pretty fast. So I'm gonna reroute it into a 55-gallon drum. I'll have an overflow on it to where if it fills up, it'll just pour out onto the ground anyway. I know there'll probably be some people who say, oh my God, you can't do that. That's not what the code says. Well, I live in the country. There's not a lot of code out here. True, if somebody inspected it, they might have something to say about it, but I can always just run it back down the wall again. It's not that big a deal. If I was doing something that was against code, that would potentially harm nature, harm, whatever, even cause my neighbors some discomfort or some not being happy with it anyway, then that would be one thing. But I don't see where this is going to cause any problems. So it's just a project I want to do. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. If it don't, like I said, I'll just run it back down the wall again. It's not that big a deal. So the new unit sits right there. Old unit set on this foundation right here. When the AC guys were out here, they asked me if I wanted them to haul off that little concrete pad there, or if I want to just keep it. And so I told them, well, I'll just keep it. I can set a barbecue pit or something on it. I'll figure something out to do with it. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'll have to look and see. I don't know, it may be too big. I may move it over here where I'm gonna put that barrel and have that barrel sitting on that, on top of some blocks or something, to raise the barrel up just a bit. I don't know for sure that that's what I'm gonna do, but Yeah, it is quite a bit bigger than the barrel, so I'm not sure if that's what I want to do or not, but we'll see. I'll ignore the four-wheel dolly there. That's from another project. The plan is to take that barrel right there and modify it a little bit. It's a barrel I've had for a while. I think I spent 20 bucks on it a few years ago, something like that. All right, so first execution of the plan. Bought a spigot here. I'm gonna put the spigot on the barrel. Or to do that, I'm gonna have to drill a hole. So I bought a drill bit that is just barely smaller than the thread pattern on this spigot. I mean, it is just barely smaller. So I'm hoping that and maybe a little bit of pipe dope, I may be able to screw this thing into that barrel. Wish me luck, because I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. I may end up having to change my plan a little bit, but we'll see. So that wasn't the easiest job in the world, but it did work. Hopefully it'll hold water. I don't know, I haven't attempted putting any water in it yet, but we'll find out. So looking at this, I don't know if I want to use that slab for this or not. That is considerably larger than the barrel. I knew it was going to be bigger, but that's considerably larger. I don't know if I want to use that. That's going to just leave it sticking out really far from the house. I think I'm just going to do this. These old blocks have been on the property as long as I've owned it. There used to be an old brick barn here, and I think I'm just going to put the barrel on top of that. My initial thoughts were to put it with the spigot pointed out this way, but I'm afraid I might hit it with the lawnmower. May look a little funny with it coming out over here, but at least I can stow the garden hose against this wall over here. And it also put the tube right here where it's going to drain right down into it. So with a little bit of adjustment on the location of the blocks there, that'll line everything up. I think that's what I'm going to do. So a couple of 79-cent elbows and a couple of really ugly hacksaw jobs later. There's my new drain. I'm gonna go into my barrel, fill it up. I'm not terribly worried about the fact that that's not sealed around it. I mean, I could do something to seal around it, I guess, if I wanted to, but I'm not terribly worried about it. Mainly this is gonna feed water like plants and trees and crap like that, so it's not intended to be drinking water or anything like that. I'm not terribly worried about it getting a little debris in it. If it does, I'll pull the barrel out, drain it completely, rinse it out, put it back up here and start over again. It's not that big a deal. It's, like I said, it's to feed and water trees and plants, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave it just like it is. So if you don't include the $25,000 that I spent to have a new air conditioning unit put in the attic of my house, and you only consider what I spent on materials, I've got less than $30 tied up in this little project. The barrel was, I think, 20 bucks a couple years ago, but the barrel, I think, was 20 bucks. The spigot was, I don't know, $1.27 maybe. I got two 79-cent elbows, and then of course I bought a drill bit, but as long as you've got that, that doesn't really count against it either. So altogether, I tell you the truth, I actually spent probably less than $25 on the whole thing. Like I said, it's probably not up to code. Didn't ask anybody, to tell you the truth, but I don't like wasting water. I don't like making a mess in the backyard, and to tell you the truth, it was making a big kind of mud pit right there at the edge of my house, and I don't know, I don't really want that. So I'm going to reuse that water. So whether I'm supposed to do it or not is another story. I don't know if somebody comes along and really gives me a fit about it. I guess I'll run it back out in the yard again, but for the time being, I think it's a good use of water that was just being wasted.